Today, hosted by Malika Andrews, live from Los Angeles.
Just feel like you can't catch a break. You know, when it rains, it pours for a year.
The most frustrating part is not being sure of what we could have been.
Who would have thunk it that the Lakers would not even make the playoffs? A lot of soul searching to take place during the offseason.
Our goal was to win a championship.
We didn't get it done. You can't make no excuses about it.
And with that, welcome to NBA Today. I'm Malika Andrews, and you all know this. It's been 106 days, to be exact, since the Lakers were officially eliminated from the playoffs. But since that fateful day, it was April 5th, a whole lot has changed. So Frank Vogel, he was fired on April 11th, and then the coaching search, it lasted until late May, until our Adrian Wojnarowski, he reported that the Lakers are hiring Darvin Ham as their new head coach, and LeBron James, he tweeted his support of the hire, saying, "I am so excited. Congrats and welcome Coach Ham, #Lake Show." But still, Russell Westbrook, he was a little bit different in showing his support. He actually attended Ham's introductory press conference. But that might have been the last time that Russ and LeBron were on the same page, because at Summer League, they couldn't have been sitting farther away from each other at the Thomas and Mack Center. They were literally sitting on opposite baselines, which then brings us to Saturday. Man, I was trying so hard to enjoy my day off. And then word started to get around that LeBron, he was going to be suiting up for the Drew League, and he played every single minute of the game. He dropped 42 points, 16, but more importantly to the Lakers fans, he told our Dave McMenamin that he is 100% healthy. And I say all of that to say this. There's never a lack of intrigue surrounding the Lakers, and at the center of all of it right now is Darvin Ham. So how is he going to manage this squad? And he answered some of those questions for our friends from Showtime Basketball's All the Smoke podcast, and they had to start with Russell Westbrook.
I'm thrilled to coach Russ.
Yeah.
They try to dump on Russ, but I'm like, that was one of the things that got me excited about this job. As well as
dog.
Yeah, totally.
He a dog.
He and I have had a great rapport since I taken over the job. We all know what comes along with this business, man. People throwing your name in trade rumors. You can't help but hear the noise sometimes. You just got to stay solid, do what you do, and you will win in the end, man, every time. I witnessed it with him.
All right, thanks to Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson there. I'm now joined by Kendrick Perkins and Dave McMenamin and Anscape's Mark Spears. And Mark, you actually spent some time with Darvin after he was hired. Can you describe, it seems to me that the enthusiasm that he has for coaching Westbrook, it seems pretty genuine. Am I reading that right?
No, definitely reading it right. He said he was counted out prematurely, that they're having great conversations over dinner, over text. And he said he has a wholehearted plan, and this is Darvin, that he's going to use with Russ that they've talked about. He wouldn't give me details of that plan, but he's confident that Russ will be much better Laker with him. And I said, well, Coach, is he going to start? He said, absolutely he's going to start. So Darvin Ham is excited about having him, feels like he's still a superstar player, and feels like he's going to get the best out of Russ.
He certainly, you could put him in that category, but the question is, okay, is he going to set screens defensively? He said he wants to get back to being an all-defensive player. Well, back is an interesting word in all of that. So, Dave, Ham is saying all of the right things about coaching Russ. I'm a big fan of Darvin Ham's, but what is the latest on trade talks surrounding Russ?
Malika, while Darvin Ham has told Mark these plans for Russell Westbrook, and he told our friends at Showtime these plans for Russell Westbrook, behind the scenes, Lakers general manager and president of pro basketball personnel, Rob Pelinka, has been making phone calls to teams about trying to trade Russell Westbrook out of town. Now, the latest intelligence I have is that things have not moved in terms of the Brooklyn front. There is no traction on a deal that would involve sending Russell Westbrook out and bringing Kyrie Irving in. One thing I have learned over the last day or two, tangentially, that there has been some talks re-engaged between the Lakers and the Indiana Pacers. Now, that would center around a Buddy Hield deal and could be a deal that would include Russell Westbrook if you're talking about also having Miles Turner in that deal. Or perhaps it could be a secondary move where you would be talking about Taylor Horton Tucker type of package to try to get Buddy Hield.
Interesting.
And so we could see whether that would affect Russell or not.
By the way, we caught that tangentially that you just
what does that
slipped
mean?
in. It's actually one of my favorite words. It means sort of like I'm going to throw more of it, like peripheral, like it's a tangentially related, that type of deal.
I didn't get that at my public school.
Well, Perk's not wearing his glasses today.
Perk, you didn't get that word either, right?
You didn't get tangentially?
You know what? Me with big words and all that, I'm not even about to try it.
Okay, well,
I'm not about to think about what it means.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay in my lane until
right.
I find the exit. Y'all ready?
Well, I'm going to put you in this. I'm going to put you in this lane then. When I say Russell Westbrook, Perk, what do you say?
Lesser role is what I think. When I think of Russell Westbrook, I think of, losing himself in the team. And I'm listening to what Mark said, and he said, Darvin Ham is saying he has a plan, and Darvin Ham is supporting Russell Westbrook. Darvin Ham's supposed to do that. Darvin Ham's supposed to support Russ in case the Lakers have to bring him back to let him know, I got your back. And then I heard what Dave said. Dave said behind the scenes, Rob Pelinka is actually still out there making phone calls and looking for trades that might include Russell Westbrook, which is for the betterment of the team, is what Rob Pelinka's supposed to do. But again, I go back and I'm going to state this. Russell Westbrook has to make sure he holds Russell Westbrook accountable. If you're going to have Darvin Ham go out on the limb and say that he supports you 100%, Russell Westbrook has to do the same. Russell Westbrook has to make sure that he's in the gym with Phil Handy, who's one of the best player development coaches around. Russell Westbrook has to make sure he's getting extra shots up. Russell Westbrook has to make sure he's actually doing his part on the defensive end, fighting to get up over screens, sprint back in transition to get back on defense. Russell Westbrook has to hold Russell Westbrook accountable. And last year, what I saw out of Russell Westbrook was a lot of finger pointing instead at himself when he struggled throughout the course of the season.
Accountability up and down seemed to be a theme for the Lakers sort of throughout last year's season. But when it came to this All the Smoke podcast, Russell Westbrook wasn't the only player that Darvin Ham was asked about. He was also asked about Anthony Davis. Take a listen to this.
When he's healthy like he was in 2020 in that bubble run, he's top 5 in the league.
No
Easy.
question.
Top 3. This is not going to work without AD. No disrespect to Bron, no disrespect to Russ. They're going to be who they are.
Right.
Like, Bron is going to continue to be great. Russ is going to have a much, much better season. But AD, having AD available, it's going to be invaluable. And he's the centerpiece to that championship table that we're trying to build.
Okay, so I don't think it's a particularly hot take to say that the Lakers go as Anthony Davis goes. Yes, LeBron James needs to be exceptional, but we've seen LeBron James be exceptional and still they fall short of their goals versus when he was in the conversation for should it be LeBron or should it be AD for finals MVP, they win a championship. So, Perk, let's start with you here. Anthony Davis, is he a top 3 player when he's healthy?
Absolutely. Absolutely he is. We all can agree that Anthony Davis is a top 5 talent right now and healthy. Look, Anthony Davis healthy. I actually have Anthony Davis picked as my MVP winner for next season. Wow. Early prediction. I think Anthony Davis is going to come back with something to prove. Anthony Davis has been waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, getting in workouts, going 3 a days. Anthony Davis looks in phenomenal shape. Anthony Davis has been hearing all the noise, all the chatter. Just remember, 2 years ago, we were actually having a conversation about who would we rather, Giannis Antetokounmpo or Anthony Davis. That's how elite Anthony Davis was on both ends of the floor. So when I think about Anthony Davis, in my opinion, one of the most skilled big man to ever play the game of basketball. It's nothing that he doesn't have in his arsenal offensively on the offensive end. So when I look at Anthony Davis and I look at a Darvin Ham, a coach that's going to put a key in his back, I look at Rasheed Wallace being over there as an assistant coach, I got Anthony Davis motivated and I got Anthony Davis winning the MVP next season.
Wow.
Well,
okay.
It certainly is possible if he's healthy. We know what he could do when he's healthy. We were in the bubble. We saw him win a championship. Yep. I see him as top 10. Giannis, Steph, LeBron, Durant, respectfully to AD, I see him in the top 10. But one thing that Darvin Ham said to me about AD, he said, we ain't ish without him. And the Lakers showed you that last year. I don't think it's talked about enough, and Dave knows this. He played 40 games. If he played 70, this ain't the coaching staff might still be there. There's a lot we could be talking about differently about the Lakers. Maybe they could have been potential champs or done much more, but they are as he goes.
Yeah, I mean, they are as he goes doesn't seem to be a particularly hot take when you look at those numbers that are right there. 2018, by the way, Perk, Anthony Davis, he finished third in MVP voting. I'm not saying he couldn't be the MVP. When I'm thinking of Giannis, when I'm thinking of Luka, when I'm thinking of Joel, there might be a couple of people that maybe I would expect before him to be playing for that. But if they can get an MVP version of Anthony Davis, that's going to be special for the Lakers. Dave, you cover this team day in and day out. What are their expectations for Anthony Davis?
Well, Malika, I spoke to a member of the Lakers organization when I was on the road covering the playoffs, and we were looking back at the wreckage of the season that was. And the point that member of the Lakers told me, we didn't see dominant AD all but maybe 10 games all season long. The Lakers felt like when he came back from that initial injury against Brooklyn, he had about a 10-game stretch before he got injured again against the Utah Jazz when he came down on Rudy Gobert's size 20 sneaker. And that's the only glimpse they saw of Anthony Davis being the guy that they think can be similar to what Perk's talking about, being an MVP candidate. They need way more of that this season. And Darvin makes a great point here. If they don't have that, it doesn't matter if LeBron's scoring 30 a game. If they don't have that, it doesn't matter if Russell Westbrook curtails his turnovers and shoots better from the outside and doesn't die on screens on the defensive end. Anthony Davis will be the sun and the moons for them, or he will be the comet that crashes into and puts them into oblivion.
Well, at least we have better
descriptions today. Go ahead, Dave.
All right. Well, before we wrap up our Lakers conversation, I want to go to our Lithuanian correspondent, Jonas Valanciunas. He's playing a game of charades here. Just enjoy this.